आम पर्यटन साक्षर हुइला दीप धामरा बन्दर स्वप्न गरिछि साकार बोल गडिया पथर छातीरे हसे आम कारू कला मोगल ताम संस्कृति ओ संस्कृति चिरकाल मधुबोला चिरकाल मधुबोला ई माटी अक्षर अमृत पानी पवन शाश्वत पवित्र धान पान मीन कृषि कृषकर स्वप्न गरिछि वहन केते मणिसंक आशा ओ विश्वास माटी माम महान जय यात्रा महे बनाई शेष पथ जेते हेले कंटकित कालर अनंत सीमा रेखा देई बांटी बसे ज्ञानामृत बांटी बसे ज्ञानामृत ई माटी अक्षर अमृत पानी पवन शाश्वत पवित्र शब्द ओ निशब्द अंतराळु पर सुभी बरेवती डाक श्रुतिर दर्पणे दिशिबे गोपने आमाय महानायक धन्य व्यास विहार धन्य विश्वविद्यालय मुक्त कंठे आस उत्साह उल्लासे मुक्त कंठे आस उत्साह उल्लासे करी बाहे जय जय करी बाहे जय जय करी बाहे जय जय।
धन्यवाद। एबे मु अनुरोध करुछि चेयरमैन पीजी काउंसिल प्रोफेसर मुनेश चंद्र अधिकारी को आमर निमंत्रित अतिथि को स्वागत संबर्धना ज्ञापन करिए।
So good morning everybody. At the outset, on the occasion of Foundation Day celebration of the university, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Kishore Kumar Basa, to preside over the meeting. Sir, with your permission, I start?
Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. Honorable President, Vice Chancellor, Professor Kishore Kumar Basa, sir. Our today's chief guest, Professor Prakash Chandra Sadangi, sir. And our guest of honor, Dr. Manoranjan Mahapatra, sir. And the present Register Murthyunjay Mahapatra, sir. And present Register, Mrs. Kukumina Das. And the present our officers, Control of Finance, Manas Mahapatra, sir. And Control of Examination, Ranjan Marai, sir. And other dignitaries with us in the audience, hall, and all the participants join online. Today, 11th July 2021, our Fakir Mohan University is celebrating its 23rd Foundation Day in the present COVID-19 pandemic situation, obeying all the prevention protocols in blending modes. First of all, I welcome our chief guest, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi sir, and the next guest of honor, Dr. Murthyunjay Mahapatra sir. Both are on online mode with us. And also I welcome our loving Vice Chancellor, Professor Kishore Kumar Basa, and Registered Mrs. Kutumina Das on the dais, and all other dignitaries present in this conference hall. Finally, I welcome all the participants, students, teaching and non-teaching staff, media people who are associated with us through online mode. So now, as a part of, I'll give a brief introduction about today's guest, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi. Today's chief guest, a great person with unique personality. He was the former Vice Chancellor of Ravenshaw University, Cuttack. Prior to that, he was Senior Professor in the Department of Political Science, School of Social Science at University of Hyderabad. Also, he was a member of the Forum Boards of Trust and a senior consultant at ICSSR, New Delhi. Professor Sarangi holds an MA degree from Delhi University and a PhD degree from University of Rutgers, USA. He was an academic fellow at American Studies Research Center. He was also the Director of Study in India SIV program, Pro Vice Chancellor and Director of International Affairs at the University of Hyderabad. Professor Sarangi's academic interests revolved around democratic theory and practice. Sir, we are very much grateful to you that you have given your valuable time to grace the function. Next, our Dr. Murthyunjay Mahapatra, today's guest of honor, is another great person who will deliver today's Foundation Day address to us. About him, I can say the name fulfills the answer to current GK question on any competitive exam, that who is the cyclone man of India? The answer comes, he is none other than Dr. Murthyunjay Mahapatra. He is currently Director General of Meteorology and in New Delhi. He is now with international figure being the representative of India with World Meteorological Organization WMO, and also elected member of Executive Council of WMO for period of 2019 to 2023. He has PhD degree in physics, and also he was awarded honorary BSc degree by our Fakir Mohan University on its convocation ceremony in 2019. Dr. Mahapatra has brought laurels to the country from various international agencies like United Nations, WMO, for effective early warning, especially for cyclones. To mention a few cyclones with which accurate warning like Thailand, Hudud, Varda, Titli, Sagar, Mekuno, Foni, and most recently, yes. Sir, we are happy to associate you on the occasion of Foundation Day of our university, and also waiting eagerly to listen your address on cyclone. Next, our Professor Kishore Kumar Basa, President of today's celebration, the brilliant and shining Vice Chancellor of two universities, Fakir Mohan University, Balasore, and Maharaja Sriram Chandra Bhanjadeva University, Barikala. He has been nominated for prestigious Tagore National Fellow by the Indian Ministry of Culture. Professor Vasa was the topper in 1973 matriculation Odisha board, and he has PhD degree from London University and postdoctoral degree from Cambridge University. He has also won as the director of Kolkata Indian Museum, Anthropological Survey of India, and also Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Manava Sangralaya Bhopal, and many more about him, for which time is not permitting, sir. With your dynamism in war culture and inspiration, we are in progress. Thank you, sir, for your presence. With this, I thank you all and wish you all for a happy and pleasant day. And before that, I announce that today also we have celebrated on behalf of NSS unit the plantation drive in the new campus of Fakir Mohan University. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your heartwarming welcome. Now I would like to request our registrar, Srimati Kukumina Das, to present the annual report of Fakir Mohan University. Ma'am.
Good morning all. Honorable President and Vice Chancellor FM University, respected chief guest of this August occasion, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarali, ex-VC Devonshire University, respected guest of honor, Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra, popularly utilized as the Cyclone Man of India, all esteemed dignitaries, invitees, teaching and non-teaching faculties of all colleges, university, and my colleagues in university, dear students, media friends, and all ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, joining us live on Google Meet and YouTube. It gives me immense pleasure to extend warm welcome to you all on this momentous occasion of 23rd Foundation Day celebration of FM University. As we all are aware that the whole country is reeling under unprecedented pandemic situation. It has its cascading effect on academics too. And against all odds, the university is striving hard to continue with its curricular and co-curricular activities. I have this opportunity to present before you all the annual report of the university for the year 2020-21. Fakir Mohan University has completed its 23 years of service to the society since its establishment on 11th July 1999. The university was established by the government of Orissa under Section 32 of Orissa University Act 1989 and notification number 973 dated 3rd July 1999. It has been duly recognized by UGC under Section 2F of UGC Act as well as under Section 12B. And the university is also accredited by the Association of Indian University, New Delhi. And this university has been accredited B+ grade by NARC. The Fakir Mohan University is committed to develop itself as a value and need-based quality education provider in the state of Odisha in general and Balasore as well as the other districts in particular. It has the ultimate objective of producing qualified and competent manpower responsive to the changing needs of the society at the national and international levels. The university follows some healthy practices like personal advisory systems for students, evaluation of teachers as per UGC guidelines, central computing facilities, health insurance schemes for students, training and placement cell, a dedicated sports complex, a central library. The university started functioning in the year 1999 in the building of Educational Foundation located at Ganeshpur area of Balasore. In the year 2010, the university shifted its administrative office to its new campus located at Nuapadi of Balasore. And the total land area of university is 80.62 acres, 6 acres in old campus and 74.62 acres in new campus, with a distance of 12 kilometers between these two campuses. And at present, the university has 18 regular PG departments of innovative and professional subjects imparting courses of master degree, MPhil and PhD level. Besides, the university is imparting 4 master degrees in self-financing mode. There are 97 affiliated colleges under this university, which includes 2 autonomous colleges, 79 affiliated degree colleges, 14 professional colleges, 1 medical college and 1 vocational college. Further, this university has 1 Directorate of Distance and Continuing Education, DDC, giving different UG and PG courses. Now the total student strength of university, including its affiliated colleges, is more than 55,000. The Fakir Mohan University has an NSS bureau with 161 units in its 70 affiliated colleges, with a total 98 male units and 61 female units. The total number of volunteers enrolled is nearby 8,050. The achievement of Central Library of University says that 1 MOU has been signed with UGC Infinite to access and submission of thesis to E. Sadha Ganga, and the total collection of book by the library so far is 49,844. 2 archives were established in the Central Library, one of the international famous poet Dr. Jayant Mahapatra and other the great writer and cardiologist Dr. Kavi Prasad Misra. PG departments under FM University have shown their excellency in various aspects by the students as well as faculty members. These are as follows. PG Department of Commerce has organized 1 national webinar and 1 international webinar, where the Nobel laureate of Bangladesh, Professor Muhammad Yunus, was the chief guest. PG Department of Applied Physics and Ballistics has organized 1 international webinar, and happy to say that 2 students qualified NET JRF and 16 students qualified GATE in Physics. PG Department of Business Management has organized 1 national webinar and 1 workshop. PG Department of Social Science has organized 1 national webinar and 2 international webinars. PG Department of Journalism and Mass Communication has organized 1 workshop. PG Department of Biosciences and Biotechnology has organized 1 national webinar and 1 international webinar. PG Department of Zoology has organized 1 national webinar and 1 student qualified NET JRF and 2 students qualified GATE. It is worthy to note that Dr. Pankaj Kumar Kadi, Associate Professor of Chemistry, Department has filed a patent of his research findings on de-gunning of Muga silk by natural surfactant. Besides, almost all the faculty members have published a good number of research papers in national and international journals, edited books and chapters, participated in webinars, workshops, FDPs, etc. And several infrastructures are under the process of construction, funded by UGC, RUSA, state government, and worldwide inside the university campus, like academic building 3+4, academic building 3+2, terminal education 3+2, convention hall, raising of height, the following hall. This will be completed by 60W. Fakir Mohan University is now on progressing stage and let us united together to raise its name and fame in the national as well as international level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Now, moving ahead with our schedule, I would like to request our chief guest, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi, to address. Before we start with our chief guest addressal, I would like to give a brief introduction about him. आमर मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर प्रकाश चंद्र सरंगी संपर्क में सम्यक विवरणी देवाकू चाहूची। प्रोफेसर सरंगी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हैदराबाद डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस रे प्रोफेसर भावे कार्यरत। से रेवेन्यू यूनिवर्सिटी रा कुलपति भावे 1 जनवरी 2015 रे कार्यभार संभाली थिले। तांकर सेही कार्यकाल समय रे से ओडिशा हायर एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट प्रति अजस्र अनुदान करिसंती। तांकर ज्ञानकोश एवं अनुभूतिर दीर्घकालीन यात्रारु आमकु किछि आह्वान करिबा पई मु अनुरोध करिबि। उपस्थित श्रोताबृंद को सार को करतालीर सहित स्वागत करबा को आग्रह करिबि। ओवर टू यू सर।
Thank you for your kind words. Honorable Vice Chancellor, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Vasa, Honorable former Vice Chancellors, Professor Siva Prasad Adhikari and Professor Madhumita Das, Namaste. Chairperson, PG Council, Professor Adhikari, Registrar of the University, Mrs. Kukmina Das, Chief Guest of this afternoon, Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra, faculty members of the university, staff, and the students. Let me first of all extend a very, very happy birthday to FMU University, 23rd happy birthday. It's a very, very happy occasion for any university. In fact, during the Vice Chancellorship of Professor Adhikari and Professor Das, I had pleasant memories of visiting your campus. The beautiful campus, full of greeneries. I used to take morning walks from VC's residence till the main gate and to the nearby villages. It was so nice. While walking, I always felt that this is a university which has a perfect blending of tradition and modernity. The traditional villages nearby and the modern university side by side. Exactly, this is what Balasore represents. On one side, there are Chalcolithic sites. On the other side, there are missile sites. The university represents a type of Renaissance literature that you find from Fakir Mohan till Manoj Das. There is a continuity, but a blending of both, just like university has traditional courses as well as courses in ballistic science, in marine science, biotechnology, and so on. This is the beauty of FMU University. And this is why I like the way university has grown over the years. Let me also, at the same time, say that FM University is 23 years young. Now it's a full adult. Next few minutes, I'll just share with you my ideas of what a young university, a full adult university, I would say, should be looking forward to. 23-year-old young man or woman always keeps on thinking about achievement, thinks of being audacious, and thinks of being adventurous. 3 A's, I would say: achievement, audaciousness, and adventurousness. That's the quality of a young person. And this is what I feel as an established university by now, FM University should be looking forward to. Why am I saying this? Let me elaborate a little bit. Achievement. A young person tries to achieve. Now, FM University has all the qualities to achieve and prosper. When I'm saying achieve, I don't mean to say that we should always imitate global universities, so-called global universities like Harvard, Oxford, or whatever. I happen to believe that university should bank on its own strength. One has to assess what is the strength of the university. And using that strength, one should move forward. And that's what FM University can do. Look around. What is there around FM University? What is there around Balasore? What type of talents that university has. And using those talents, one can go forward. Let me share with you an experience of good practice in a college that I visited as NAC chairperson. It was a small college in a remote Maharashtra area, full of rural and tribal population, and 98% of the students were from Dalit categories. Now imagine, such a college will not like to compare itself with, let's say, a Presidency College or a St. Stephen's College. And they all tried their best to see that they enroll as many students as possible from the nearby areas. That was their goal. They fixed their goal to achieve in that front. If they can enroll more, if they can motivate the students to join the college, that's an achievement. Mind you, no goal is small or big, but the goal should be achievable. And FM University can fix its goals and try to achieve them. If you fix goals that you cannot achieve, then after a while you may repent. So that is the reason you must fix goals that you can achieve with your own talent, with your own faculty, with your own students, and you'll prepare a benchmark for yourself and for the rest around you. My second point, being audacious. Being audacious implies that you can explore the unexplorable. You can go and find out your own creativity, your own innovativeness, which of course you might be doing. I can see that your business incubator is an innovation. You can certainly be a center for excellence that you are planning to do. All these things are true. But then within that, how can you create a niche for yourself? Again, let me share with you my experience of visiting a university as an NAC chairperson, something like a good practice. This is the university which had a community living. I'm not saying that each university should imitate the other. I'm just sharing with you an example. It was the university which had a kind of community living. All the students and faculty, staff, everyone, from morning 5 o'clock, they used to work in the field, literally in the field, or any other task that was assigned. It may be, looking after the cows, it may be looking after, let's say, kitchen or whatever. Everyone works from 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock. Similarly, evening, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Now imagine the type of commitment that this community had towards their higher education. I found the faculty and the students were so committed. I mean, you cannot imagine that within our country such a university exists. Very often people think that there are regulations, acts and statutes, all these things is difficult to really overcome and we cannot do anything, our hands are tight. That's not true. I happen to again believe that while obeying all those acts, rules, regulations, one can innovate. In fact, no act prevents you from innovating. No act prevents you from finding out the creative talent that you and your students have. Let me give you a small example. For instance, very often we find that our students are not able to read, write. This is reported widely, read and write, or even do simple computing. Doing some hand-holding within our means is not an impossible task. This type of extra activity for the university will give it a new type of visibility and will help you to compete. my third point, being adventurous. One has to be adventurous like any other young person. And this adventure is a risk-taking activity. While you take a risk, again within your own limitations, you can always find new ways of relating yourself to the students, to the stakeholders, to the society, and so on. Without being immodest, let me give you something I did as an adventure in academic life. Reference was made to my being involved in something called Study India program. This was about 25 years back when I was asked to internationalize my campus. My campus, I mean University of Hyderabad campus. This was the task given to me. And over a period of time, we attracted a lot of international students to come and take courses in our university and thereby earn revenue. I'll not go to the details of it. But one thing I felt that our science colleagues used to tell us that you social science people are not able to earn anything. We are able to get projects and earn money for the university. Social science people are not able to do anything. But remember, those who are coming from abroad to spend a semester in our university or 2 semesters, they're not going to study physics, chemistry, or biology in our campuses. They will study our art, culture, history, politics, something they are not able to experience in their campuses. So therefore, we used our social sciences and humanities faculty to teach them. Believe it or not, in the year 2000 or 20 years back, I used to give a revenue of 1.5 crores to the university, a revenue, a profit after all the expenditures. I used to give it. People were amazed. Now the figure might have gone up. But the point is, we did all this without violating any rule. We had to negotiate with Ministry of External Affairs, we had to negotiate with the UGC, we had to negotiate with university administration, but we did it. During those days, the UGC and Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of HRD at that time, they recognized our work and they say that this is a pioneering program. In fact, they asked other universities to take it up. The reason I'm making this point is that what is your goal is a different issue. But then within these goals, you can always find something that others have not done. What is it that you can do that others have not done? That's an adventure, just like going to the nature and exploring. You can always explore. Well, if these 3 A's are carefully emulated, achievement, audaciousness, and adventurousness, then perhaps university can go further and further. But let me also tell you at the same time, at the end, that look, 23 years in the life of an institution, though I'm saying young, 23 years young, is not a lot. In the task of building an institution, you are still a child. Remember, the first university of modern times, not of ancient times, started in the year 1088. 1088, that was in Bologna, in Italy. Oxford University was established the same century, about 8 years later, 1096. Cambridge came a few decades later. Harvard University was established in 1626. All these are such old universities. Within our own country, for example, the first universities, Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras, started in 1857. Compared to that, we are very, very young, in fact, like a child. Even in our own state, the first university, Utkal University, started in 1943, only one university was there after independence, and there are 34 now. There is a lot of scope to compete. There is a lot of scope to emulate. There is a lot of scope to prosper. Now, with new type of knowledge systems, the sky is the limit. When I was a student like Kishore and others, where today's students cannot imagine, there is no telephone, there is no computer, there is no internet. Getting a photocopying done of any reading material was so difficult. We have seen the evolution of the teaching traditions in the recent times. Of course, there is a lot of evolution since the time of oral tradition in ancient India to, let's say, using of scripts, then printing press, then, of course, now computing and the virtual mode of teaching and learning. So there is a lot of innovation happening. If FM University can take wind out of these innovations, wind out of this new type of knowledge system, then probably that will help you to be more audacious, more adventurous, and you can achieve what you intend to achieve as your goal. With these words, I wish you well. I wish you all the prosperity for the next decades to come. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this August gathering.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
India's meteorological department and Odisha's most pride person, Dr. Mrityunjay Mahapatra says, any cyclone can be predicted 5 days in advance and the area of occurrence, time and point of landfall, wind velocity along with wave height can change the future of this country. ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଜୀବନ ରକ୍ଷା ପାଇଁ ଏବଂ ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ଅନ୍ୟତମ ସଞ୍ଜୀବନୀ ଭାବରେ କାମ କରୁଥିବା ଡକ୍ଟର ମୃତ୍ୟୁଞ୍ଜୟ ମହାପାତ୍ରଙ୍କୁ କରତାଳି ସହିତ ସ୍ୱାଗତ କରନ୍ତୁ।
Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Kishore Kumar Vasa, Honorable Chief Guest of this function, Professor Prakash Chandra Sarangi, Honorable former Vice Chancellors of Fakir Mohan University, Professor Shiv Prasad Adhikari and Professor Madhusmita Das, the Registrar of FM University, Professor Das, Chairman of the PG Council, Professor Munesh Chandra Adhikari, distinguished invitees, delegates, esteemed teachers of Fakir Mohan University, dear students, friends, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I congratulate all of you and all others associated with Fakir Mohan University on 23rd Foundation Day of University. It is a proud privilege for me to be associated with all of you on this August occasion. I therefore express my deep gratitude for inviting me to this function and giving me an opportunity to learn from all of you, all the learned personalities present on this occasion. As I have been suggested to speak on the cyclones and its warning system, I will be confining my deliberations on this aspect. Before that, I just want to say that about 80% of various types of natural disasters over the globe are weather and climate related. And hence, the weather and climate monitoring, forecasting, and early warning services over the globe plays a dominant role. And over the years, due to the intervention of various types of technologies and science, from time to time, the efficiency of the national meteorological and hydrological agencies have improved. And as a result, there has been an early warning service which has acted as an enabler to enable the disaster managers, stakeholders, various users, and general public to minimize the losses of lives and properties. Among these disasters, if you just look at, the cyclone has been such a disaster which has got the eye of not only the disaster managers, but also all the scientific communities, socialists, and the social scientists, because the challenge due to a cyclone over the globe is such that an integrated approach is essential with the contribution from each and every human being, each and every institutions, each and every researcher, and each and every application service providers. So before I go into details about the current status of monitoring, forecasting, and warning services, and how we have come up over the years to provide this service to the country and the world, I'll request to give me just 1 or 2 minutes so that I can share the PowerPoint presentations. Is it visible? Professor Adhikari, is it visible?
Visible, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sir.
So I will be just discussing for about 20 to 25 minutes about the recent advances in cyclone forecasting. I am moving to the second slide. Is it moving on your end? Professor Adhikari, whether it is moving on your end? Hello?
Yes, sir, moving.
Okay, fine. Okay, so thank you very much. So before I go into details about the tropical cyclone monitoring forecasting, I just want to mention that if you just look at the recent years, for example, 1970 onwards, you will find 33% of hydrometeorological disasters that has occurred over the globe are caused by the tropical cyclones. 1 out of 3 events that killed most people globally is the tropical cyclone. And 7 out of 10 disasters that caused the biggest economic losses in the world during this period from 1970 onwards are the tropical cyclones. About 85 countries in the world, which are member of the World Meteorological Organizations, are highly affected or directly affected by the tropical cyclones. And in this region, we have got an notorious record that 300,000 people died in Bangladesh in 1970 cyclone, which is popularly called as Bhola cyclone, because that cyclone crossed coast near Bhola Island of Bangladesh. And it is ranked as the biggest casualty cyclones in the last 5 decades due to any tropical cyclone. So therefore, the cyclone forecasting has been a challenge over the years. And as and when there is a modern technology coming up, it has been tested for monitoring, forecasting, and warning services for the tropical cyclones. If you just look at the picture at the bottom of this slide, this is the picture of the tropical cyclone, which was moving towards Odisha coast, that is cyclone Phylline. You can just find that it's a large-scale weather system. It has got a size of about 100 to 1,000 kilometers in diameter, and hence it can have the impact not only one state but also sometimes 2-3 countries. For example, if you just look at the cyclone Phylline, it affected India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and to some extent China and Myanmar. So similarly, if you look at the recent cyclone Yas, which crossed near Balasore, it also affected Odisha, West Bengal, Sikkim, Bhutan, Nepal, and also the cloud mass went up to China. So therefore, it is a large-scale weather system which can cause impact in terms of different types of hazards like heavy rainfall, winds, and storm surges. The storm surge is nothing but an abnormal rise of sea level when a cyclone approaches the coast, and that rise in sea level leads to inundation of low-lying areas with the saline water. So that is popularly called as the storm surge. So these storm surge therefore can lead to flooding of coastal areas, erosion of beaches, loss of soil fertility, damage to structures, and also at the same time, wind can have structural damages like damage to structures, loss of power and communication infrastructure. You can cause the injury and losses of lives, and it also causes destruction of crops, vegetations, and livestock. At the same time, the rainfall, if you look at, as we all belong to that area, we know that it can have the contamination of water supply system. It can have the land subsidence or land sinking, sleeping, or landslides. Also, it can flood the inundated areas. So you can find out how the Yas caused, in combination of rainfall and storm surge, the flooding of the coastal areas in Balasore and Bhadra district. So if you just look at on the top bottom, you can find out how the mobile towers or microwave towers can be uprooted due to a cyclone. At the same time, the top figure, you can find out how the ships and large boats can be just thrown out of the ship because of the strong waves and the winds. In between, you can find another figure where a person is reconstructing his house. I used to see this picture almost in every presentation because of certain belief. Actually, this picture I took from Myanmar when I visited as an expert member of the World Meteorological Organizations to find out the reason for so much deaths due to Cyclone Nargis, which crossed Myanmar near Irrawaddy and destroyed Yangon city. About 140,000 people lost their lives due to this cyclone, and this person has lost everyone in his kith and kin, in his own family, but still he is reconstructing his house. By looking at the obvious question or the natural question rises in the mind, why this person is reconstructing his house? He has lost everything. What is the hope? Why he wants to live? The natural reply is that every human being in this universe wants to live. So therefore, as an academician, as a researcher, as an early warning service provider, as a scientist, or as a social scientist, it becomes our responsibility to ensure life for each and every human being. So this particular picture inspires us, and also I try to inspire others with this picture. Therefore, I have put up here. So the only objective in this work is to save lives and to minimize the losses of property. If you just look at cyclones in India, you will find that our region is not very prone for cyclone activities. Out of 80 cyclones developing over the globe, about 5 cyclones develop over the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. On the right-hand side, you can find out the tracks of the cyclones during certain period, and you find that, say, for example, last 150 years, or about 50 to 60 years, what you find actually, the cyclones are more over the Bay of Bengal and less over the Arabian Sea. Out of 5 cyclones, 4 develop over Bay of Bengal and 1 over Arabian Sea. And these cyclones usually move northwestward because of the rotation of the Earth around its own axis. There is a force called as the Coriolis force, which develops because of the rotation of the Earth around its own axis. And this force helps in northwestward movement of the cyclones. Usually cyclones develop over the Andaman Sea and nearby Bay of Bengal, because most of these circulations developing over Pacific Ocean, they emerge into this area, and also without in-place development takes place over this area, and hence they used to move northwestwards. Therefore, maximum cyclones make landfall over North Andhra Pradesh and Odisha coast. That is why almost every year Odisha experiences the impact of at least one cyclone, and hence we have to take safeguard. So similarly, over the Arabian Sea also they develop and they go towards Oman and Yemen. But sometimes these cyclones can change their path and they can recur depending upon the atmospheric circulations. The cyclone is just like a curve in the ocean. Depending upon the ocean current, the curve moves. Similarly here, the cyclone also moves as per the atmospheric wind field in which the cyclone is embedded. So therefore, sometimes the cyclone can change its path and move towards northeast, and hence it can move towards Bangladesh or Myanmar or West Bengal. Similarly, it can change its path, it can go towards the south, and hence it can go towards Sri Lanka and Tamil Nadu. Otherwise, the maximum number of cyclones hitting in the east coast of India are for Andhra and Odisha. And again, if you just look at the bathymetry or the coastal geometry or the physiography of the states along the east coast, you'll find that Odisha coast and western coast are very prone for the impact of the cyclones because of the fact that if you just look at Balasore, if you go to Chandipur or if you go to Digha, you will find that you can just walk into the sea during low tide area, during low tide time, about 2 kilometers. But during high tide, the tidal wave comes inside. So because of this shallow bathymetry, this area is very prone for the storm surge. And we have got the records comes from 13 meters height in Hooghly River due to a cyclone in 1737. So therefore, whenever a cyclone, even if it's low intensity like yes, crosses the coast, you can expect more tidal waves like 4 meters, which run at Balasore and some parts of Bhadrak during the month of May. So apart from this, so what we do actually, therefore, we have to assess the vulnerability, risk due to the cyclones, and that analysis we have carried out for each and every district. And based on this, the state government takes care to establish cyclone shelters, to go for construction of the houses and the schools based on the cyclone proneness of it is being implemented for all the coastal states of the country. At the same time, in 2007, India Meteorology Department took up the modernization program. In this National Cyclone Mitigation Project, India Meteorology Department participated as a partner. It was a World Bank project. But when Minister of Earth Science was established in 2007, we decided that we should take it up in our own. And at that time, the Director General of Meteorology decided that I should lead this project. So I was project director for modernization of weather forecasting and modernization of cyclone warning system. In 2010, valid for 2020. At that time, we gave a statement that we will improve cyclone forecast by 20% by 2015 and 40% by 2020. And you will be happy to know that now forecast accuracy has improved more than 100%. There has been pinpoint forecast accuracy for the cyclones like cyclones like Fani or cyclones like Philin and Hudud. So to carry out this objective with a vision statement, we went for the strategy document. And based on the strategy, we went for modernizing our observational systems, modeling systems, analysis systems, tools and technology, forecasting, early warning products generation, presentations, and dissemination to the last mile. So with this background, I just want to say that a cyclone is a large-scale synoptic system with a size of 100 to 1,000 kilometers. It is not a system which occurs in the northern part of USA or Europe. It is not a frontal system where you get warm fronts and cold fronts. It is a synoptic system occurring in tropical region where convective clouds play a dominant role. It occurs on tropical water and it is destroying system. It can destroy in terms of life and property. Otherwise, the extratropical cyclones which occur in northern part of USA or UK, these are the systems which do not have the strong winds at the surface, unlike the strong winds in the tropical cyclones. They have the strong winds in the upper atmosphere, and hence it creates problem for the aircrafts, not for the general public in the ground. So these tropical cyclones have the different names in different parts of the globe. In Western Pacific, it is called as typhoons. In Australia, it is called as willy willy. And in Pacific, it is, in USA, it is called as hurricanes. In Indian seas, we call it as the cyclones. The definition of the cyclone worldwide is fixed, that it is a rotational low pressure system where wind rotates around its center with at least the wind speed of 62 kilometers per hour or 34 nautical miles per hour. So you may say, why it is knots? Knot is nautical miles per hour used by the ships from British era, and that name goes, and many countries utilize this unit, and we are also utilizing, and it is useful for the ships. Now this is the picture of a tropical cyclone. You can just find out that the tropical cyclone has got four significant parts. At the center, you can find out a circular area here, which is blue in color. And this is a satellite image of the notorious cyclone Nargis, which caused the death of 140,000 people in Myanmar. So what you find actually, this blue area where you find, that indicates sky conditions, clear conditions. Where you find white, that is the cloudy conditions. So if you look at this picture, the central part of the cyclone, which is the size of 10 to 100 kilometers, on the average can be 50 kilometers diameter, it is cloud free. And if you go to the center, you find that there is no winds also, there is no rain. If it is daytime, you can find out the sunshine. If it is nighttime, you can find out the stars. So this area is called as the eye of the cyclone or center of the cyclones. And that is the front sector of the wall cloud region will come over the village or the town. And thereafter, after half an hour, 1 hour, there will be no rain, there will be sunshine, or there will be stars. Again, thereafter, the wind direction will change, and again, wind speed will increase, rainfall will increase. So people will feel that another cyclone has come. It is not another cyclone, but it is the rear sector of the cyclones. So therefore, the area where the eye passes on, there you will have the impact of the eye wall or wall cloud twice. Therefore, danger becomes the maximum. On the right-hand side, you can find that these spirals. One spiral is coming like this, it's going for the center. Another spiral is going like this, going for the center. This is called the spiral band of the cyclones. Along the spiral band, the convective clouds develop and hence causes the quite good amount of rainfall. Therefore, spiral bands are also called as the rain bands. Then beyond cyclone, sometimes you can find out thunderstorms. Say, for example, when the cyclone Yes was approaching Balasore Bhadrak district coast, on day before Kendrapada district and Jagatsinghpur district reported very strong wind, there was uprooting of trees, etc. That is called as thunder squall. Similarly, Hooghly district in West Bengal also reported thunder squall on the day before, that is on 25th. So it happens because of the thunder squalls associated with the outermost layer of the tropical cyclones. Now, if you look at vertically, you will find that in the lower level, the winds blow in anticlockwise direction in northern hemisphere and clockwise direction in southern hemisphere. When it blows anticlockwise, it goes up, goes out here. That means there is an inflow layer at the lower levels, and there is vertical motion in middle levels, and there is outflow layer at the top level. So that is why how the wind is blowing, it is shown in this picture, you can find out. And as a result, what we find actually, there is a motion in the lower level when winds are rotating around the center and moving. Wind is blowing off, and at the upper level, the winds are going out. So you just imagine, just like a pipe, you have got inflow of the water in one end and outflow of the water on the other end. If inflow and outflow are good, then water flow is quite okay. Pipe will not burst, pipe will continue to work. Same is the situation here. The inflow should continue, outflow should go out, and hence the vertical motion can continue. So the atmospheric circulation, oceanic circulations ensure this during the cyclone period, and hence the cyclone exists. So if we just look at how the cyclone moves, this is the path. So how and why the cyclone usually moves towards North Andhra Pradesh and Odisha coast. And here you find that at the center of the cyclone, the pressure is lowest and wind is minimum, and it increases on the eye wall region, it becomes maximum in the wall cloud region of both the sides. But if you compare left-hand side and right-hand side of the cyclone, on the right-hand side, wind is more. It's mainly because on the right-hand side, the direction of movement and the wind adds up together. So therefore, if the cyclone is crossing, say, near X, then area to the right of it, just right to the X, we will have the higher wind speed, we will have the higher storm surges. Therefore, Balasore district had the more storm surge as compared to Madrak district. Now, this is the example of the cyclone. Yes, you may be interested to know what happened actually in the two places. I just give the example. This is the place Dhamra on the left hand side. You can see that how the wind speed gradually increased and then wind speed decreased when the eye was close to the cyclones, and then again wind speed increased. Here it is the maximum, again it will be maximum, and then gradually wind speed decreased. And here it is the Chandipur, how the wind speed increased gradually, and again it decreased and then again increased. When I was passing through, it became minimum and then it can decrease. Here it is the pressure field. You can find out how the pressure went falling, and when cyclone was passing near Dhamra, how the pressure became minimum, and then pressure increased. This cyclone Chandipur, how the pressure decreased gradually, became minimum when cyclone was close to Chandipur, that means near Balasore, and then it started increasing thereafter. So if you just take a vertical cross section of the cyclone, say cyclone yes, here you can find out this is the eye of the cyclone, this is the left hand side of the cyclone, this is the right hand side of the cyclone. You see in the right hand side how the winds are higher and how it is extending to the higher height. And this is the east-west cross section of a cyclone. Similarly, here also you can find out that how on the eastern sector winds are higher and the western sector winds are less. So with this background about tropical cyclone, I just want to say how the cyclone can be mitigated. How can we change the cyclone to mitigate its impact on the society? So to do that, there are certain aspects. One is the hazard analysis. We should have a very good hazard analysis. We should have be able to detect the cyclone, find out its hazards, and we analyze. Then you should have to vulnerability analysis. We should find out what is the vulnerability of different coasts. The same cyclone which is crossing near Balasore, if it crosses, will be less. So therefore, vulnerability will be different depending on the area where the cyclone is crossing. The preparedness and planning, early warning, and mitigations. When I say early warning, actually, it depends upon the skill in which you are able to monitor and predict, the effective way in which you are generating the warning products, and the way in which you are disseminating the products to the general public and disaster managers, and how well you are coordinating disaster managers. If I give very good forecast, but disaster managers do not believe, or I am not able to convince them about the cyclone forecast, then it becomes useless. See, the general public, if general public perceive that what IMD is saying is correct, then they will take action. If they perceive that no, it is not correct, IMD has never told correct earlier, so they will not believe, and hence forecast will be useless. So therefore, all these are the components to have a successful cyclone warning, which is possible now. On the right-hand side, therefore, you can see that while early response action by the disaster managers, general public, and the stakeholders is also important. There is response action before the cyclone, during the cyclone, and after the cyclone. And to carry out this response action in the country, we have got a very good, well-established system now, which is an example to many other countries in the world. We have got to analyze with the combined knowledge strength of various forecasters, and finally, a final forecast is generated by the chief cyclone forecaster, and then it goes to the decision maker. When we give this information to a decision maker like disaster manager, district collector, or BDO or Tahsildar, this information is associated with the damage expected in the area and also the action to be taken by the disaster managers and the general public. This is the observational letter of IMD and in the region. I will not look into that. I just want to say that we have got 30 Doppler radar in the region, and Odisha coast is also covered by the Doppler radar at present, and additional Doppler radars are also coming up in Balasore and Sambalpur. This is the numerical modeling system. I was going to say that we have got 7 numerical models. Also, we have got collaboration with various international countries, and about 10 numerical models are documented every day to take a decision, and accordingly forecast is generated. You will be happy to know that about 40 GB of data are assimilated in numerical models with the high performance computing system, and computing system which we have in country now is the capacity of 10 petaflop, which is 4th in the world after USA, UK, and Japan. So this is the decision support system, which is a geospatial platform where you can have comparison, comprehension, and analysis, all types of model output, and also the observational output to take a decision. So satellite plays a dominant role as far as the genesis of the cyclone is concerned, because the cyclones refers over the sea area, and sea area is data sparse because you cannot have the observation there. So satellite provides very voluminous data for analysis of the cyclones, and accordingly, we start with the satellite. Then when it comes closer to the coast, within 500 kilometers, the radar takes over, and very close to the coast, then the observations along the coast from the ground truth takes the predominance. So with this, we go for classification of the weather systems from low pressure, depression, cyclones, severe cyclone, very severe cyclone, and super cyclones, etc., based on the wind speed associated with. This wind speed is estimated by the satellite initially, then by the radar, and then by the actual observations available from the coast. So when you go for forecasting of the cyclones, there are various aspects. Usually, we start forecasting cyclones 2 weeks ahead. That is called as extended range forecast, which gives the genesis of the cyclone and the area where the genesis is likely to take place. To follow it up, we have got a tropical weather outlook, which is issued every day with a validity period of 5 days. Then, once the genesis has taken place, we provide the track forecast, that means path forecast, intensity forecast, structure of the cyclone forecast for the next 5 days. It is provided every 3 hours. Then, when it comes closer to the coast, at least 5 days say where the landfall is going to take place and at what time. On the day of cyclone, we provide every hour the update about the current location, intensity, and the expected weather. In addition to that, we provide information about heavy rainfall, winds, storms, and coastal inundations, expected damage, and suggested actions. So, this information which is being provided, it is not uniform. And is not same as the information is being provided to the district collector. A district collector can read and understand some technical terms, and he needs also certain understanding. But a fisherman, he is least bothered about, say for example, what is the pressure in the cyclone, and how far he is from Balasore, or how far he is from Chandipur or Paradip. So accordingly, a customized information is provided for different types of users. For high sea shipping, we have got sea area bulletin. For coastal, we have got coastal shipping. And then for fishermen, we have got fishermen warning. For ports, we have port warnings. For aviation purpose, we have got aviation warning. Similarly, so many various users. For industries warning. And these warnings are provided in different stages. For example, when in the initially a low pressure shipping, we see a pre-cyclone watch at least 72 hours in advance. Then we provide the cyclone alert 48 hours in advance. Then at least 24 hours in advance, we give the cyclone warning. And 12 hours before landfall, we say the post-landfall outlook. For example, when cyclones cross here, yes, there was possibility that there can be some outlook on 25th evening that there will be certain impact in Mayurbhanj district also. Once the cyclone goes, the warning is provided. So this is an example of the cyclone Ampan, which crossed West Bengal coastal from district on 2020 May. You can find out how 2 weeks in advance we provide a genesis forecast. The cyclone is going to develop and it will move towards that particular coast. To carry out that, we have got specific models like genesis forecast model as shown here. Once we have given this extended forecast, then we go on providing particular outlook on daily basis. And you can see here in case of Ampan also how 5 days in advance we provided indication on daily basis that a cyclone genesis is going to take place over Bengal. Once the development has taken place, we run various models. You can see on the right hand side, the various models track how the cyclone tracks are generated by the numerical regression models. So models differ from as a forecaster. We have to analyze all these models and give a final forecast to general public. So that is the job done with the help of an objective decision support system. So we have got various techniques. You can just find out the number of models which you from these models, the forecast probability of the landfall, point and time. I'll just give the latest example of cyclone Taute, and yes, you can find out this was the cyclone Taute which crossed near Diu and Gujarat coast, and this is the cyclone Yes which crossed just south of Balasore and then went up to Bihar. So what you find actually, these two cyclones occurred close to close, so within a week's interval, And this genesis was predicted 2 weeks in advance. This is an example of how genesis was predicted 2 weeks in advance for cyclone Taute. And on the first 2 weeks before it was issued, on 14 to 16, there was genesis, it was told, it was issued on 6th of May. And again, this forecast is updated on 13th of May, indicating red color, that's the high probability of development of the tropical cyclone in this region. At the same time, we that yes, is going to develop here in the Bay of Bengal on 13th of May. So yes, again, it was updated and 20th of May, telling that it is moving towards North Odisha and West Bengal coast. The red color indicates that there is a high probability that cyclone is moving in this particular area. So when the cyclone developed, this is the first bulletin which we issued in case of cyclone Taute. You can see that red line is the forecast track and black line is the actual track, how close they were. And this is the track when we indicated that it will recurve and move like this. And you can find out that how efficiently the track forecast and intensity forecast has improved. The cyclone, yes, if you just look at, there has been a very good forecast in the beginning itself. On 23rd morning, the depression formed over this Bay of Bengal, and this is the first forecast issued. You just see, the red line is the forecast track and black line is the actual track, how accurate it is moving towards Balasore district and adjoining West Bengal. And accordingly, it also affected North Odisha and West Bengal district. This balloon, what you find here, green color balloon, that shows the cone of uncertainty. So this is the most probable track we predicted, and this is the cone of uncertainty. That means it's moving from about Paradip to about, say, you can say, Sagar Island or something like that. So we told that it will cross the coast between Paradip and Sagar Island and close to Balasore. That was our forecast, and accordingly it crossed. And this updated forecast, you see, you hardly can find out any difference between red line and black line. This consistency in the forecast helps the disaster managers to take actions. So accordingly, therefore, on 19th of May, that is, we gave the information that low pressure is forming. The first press release we issued. At that time, low pressure area is not formed. You will be happy to know. This genesis forecast, nobody in the world is doing this. India, for the first time, we ventured into, and we tried it, and we have been successful for last 3 cyclones. So this is called as pre-genesis forecast. 19th May we issued. On 22nd, low pressure area formed. On 19th May we told that a cyclone is going to affect Odisha and West Bengal. And accordingly, fishermen were told not to go into sea. So therefore, we could minimize the loss of lives of the fishermen because of this long period of warning. Then second press release issued on 22nd. On 22nd itself, the National Crisis Management Committee met and decided the course of action for the country. Then accordingly, we went on updating the forecast to cyclone watch, cyclone alert, cyclone warning, and post-landfall outlook for Odisha state. So this is just an example of how, at the highest level, the Honorable Prime Minister was taking the briefing. On 21st of May, Honorable Prime Minister took the briefing. I gave the presentations with the presence of Chief Secretary of Odisha, West Bengal, and all the states in the East Coast, and also all the stakeholders in the state and at the center. So this was the activation at the highest level, which helps to have a united effort by the center and the state, so that the country has become successful to minimize the loss of lives. So this is just an example. It is not the case that over the years, if you just see, the accuracy has improved. And at present, we have an accuracy of about 30 kilometers. If I say I can cross here 24 hours ahead, there can be an error of 30 kilometers here and there. So comparing to size of 500 kilometers, error of 30 kilometers is not very high. It is very negligible. But at the same time, there has been some cyclones like Yas or cyclone like Ampa, Fani or Filene, where it has been pinpointed forecast with almost the zero error. So while going for this track intensity forecast, we also go for updating our adverse weather forecast. The most adverse weather is the storm surge, which is considered as the killer of the cyclones because of water. So what you find actually when a cyclone is approaching, there are many types of tidal waves. One is the storm surge, the tidal wave due to the cyclone. Other one is the natural wave set-off. The wave set-off takes place, and when wave is approaching, it sets off, then breaks. You can find a breaking of wave. When there is a breaking of wave, you will find that means wave is approaching. When you have gone to Puri or any coast, you will find that wave is approaching towards you. When wave is approaching towards you, the height increases. That is called as breaking of wave. I am the Uday I am Jauchu, Lodi Hangia and Puri Jauchu, Sebuli Katha. You know, but the breaking of wave also measures, it is a measure. At the same time, there can be astronomical tides. So, for example, when yesterday it was lunar eclipse, on the lunar eclipse, the sun, earth, and moon are lying in one line, and hence the gravitational force of attraction on the seawater is maximum. And the time at which there was full moon, that means full moon phase, at the same time also cyclone was approaching the coast. So therefore, there was amplification of the wave due to the combined impact of astronomical tide and the tides due to the cyclones. It is just like when we are driving a vehicle on the national highway, if there is a breeze, so it is written that speed limit 40 km per hour, because if you go with higher speed, the breeze has got its own frequency, natural frequency of vibration, and your driving frequency also, that is vehicle frequency also will be there. If the vehicle frequency also will be there, if they coincide, then there will be resonance, so breeze may collapse. Similarly here, if there is a tidal wave because of the astronomical tide, and you have got the tidal wave because of the storm surge, if they are in phase, there can be amplification, resonance, and hence the reason why there was tidal wave, high tidal wave in case of cyclone Yes, which inundated many areas in the coastal belt. So at the same time, the continental shelf, the continental slope also matters. If the slope is, very smooth, that means it is not a steep slope, just like Balasore coast or Bhadra coast, if you just give up, it is very shallow. So more tidal wave can inundate low-lying areas. But if you go to Visakhapatnam or Gopalpur, they are deep coast, therefore less water can go inside. The third factor is the geometrical shape. If you just look at the shape of the head Bay of Bengal, or just look at the Dhamra coast, Dhamra to Balasore, you just look at that coast, you will find that coast is concave in nature. Because of the concave nature, what happens when water is coming, the water gets boiling in that area, increases the height of the water, and hence the tidal wave becomes low. So there are deltaic regions and geometrical shape, bathymetry, apart from the meteorological factors like intensity, winds, radius of maximum wind, side of the storm, angle of approach of the cyclones also matter how much tidal wave will be there. At the same time, the rainfall, past rainfall, future rainfall, soil moisture also add up with all these to have the final water envelope which inundates the low-lying areas. So this is just an example of cyclone. Yes, you can find out this was the track of the cyclone, and the right hand side you can find out. Just telling about you. Just look at from Dhamra to Balasore. If you just go, how is the coast? It is concave towards the sea. Therefore, when water is coming, it gets swell up here, and the height increases. At the same time, this coast is also very shallow, and hence you can expect. And at the same time, you could go to Dhamra belt and Budabalam. These are all deltaic areas. In the deltaic area, also you can expect more storm surges. So, however, to forecast the storm surge, India Meteorology Department and Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services of Minister of Earth Sciences have come together. We have got a dynamical modeling system for prediction of storm surge and coastal inundations. Similarly, for rainfall forecast, there is a well-defined system for monitoring of rainfall with satellite, radar, and automated weather stations. At the same time, there is Central Water Commission, which provides the flood forecast. We provide the heavy rainfall forecast. Based on our heavy rainfall warning, they provide the flood forecast. This is just an example of the cyclone filing, how we are able to monitor the rainfall. You just imagine, the heavy rainfall was occurring to the left-hand side of the track, but when filing crossed the coast, the heavy rainfall went to the right-hand side of the track. So therefore, the simply monitoring does not help. The understanding the phenomena, the knowledge base also works. So therefore, the role of forecasters and experts helps to actually comprehend, compare, and analyze various products from the models and observational systems. So we have got a very good mechanism between Central Water Commission and Meteorology Department. For 153 river catchments, the flood forecast is provided. So in case of cyclone, yes, also forecast was provided for Suvarnareka, Vaitarani, Brahmani, and all the river catchments. Accordingly, flood was managed. So in addition to that, you will find that all of a sudden there will be heavy rainfall. That is called as flash floods. So during cyclone, yes, also we provided flash flood guidance. You just see, this is the flash flood guidance for 26th morning. So this area, we told that this area will be inundated. And this information is being provided at a resolution of 4 by 4 kilometers. That means each and every watershed of the country is being monitored and being provided with a forecast of how much flood will occur in case of heavy rainfall. The heavy rainfall warning, this you can just see for 2 days. I am showing here the 26th and 27th. You just see, this was the forecast for 25th 8:30 IST to 26th 8:30 IST. We told that these are the districts with orange and yellow color. we will have the heavy rainfall warning. And these are the actual heavy rainfall. You see, the area where orange actual rainfall also was higher, and these are same districts which got the heavy rainfall. Similarly, on the next day, that is from 27th, this was the area which we told we gave the red color warning. This will have the high potential to cause the inundation in low-lying areas, and accordingly, you see how the rain occurred. So therefore, what you find actually not only the track and intensity of the cyclone, but also the storm surge, the heavy rainfall and wind were also correctly predicted nowadays because of this development of tools and technology. Not only that, at present we have gone for all the information in GIS. You can find out, you can go to your IMD website, you can find out all the information in Geo platform. At the same time, also we are utilizing all the socio-economic indicators, just like population density, the location of the hospitals, location of the houses, type of house, and also the information about the roads, bridges, culverts, rivers. All these informations are also digitized in the coastal districts, and these are being utilized in cyclone warning with a cyclone decision support system, and accordingly, the disaster measures are being provided. This is just an example of cyclone Burevi, which crossed the Sri Lanka coast and then went towards Tamil Nadu. We gave the information of all these socio-economic indicators. So to help all disaster managers, India Meteorology Department has 7 cyclone warning. Also have gone for the space-based communication system like GAMS, like Government Messaging System, and Navi, to reach out to the farmer, reach out to the fishermen in the deep sea. Also, we have got a system for Indian Navy that is called NAVTEX, who reaches out of 450 kilometers for all the ships in the sea. So all these dissemination system also help to reach out each and every person affected by the cyclones. To augment the awareness and the capacity of the general public, a lot of IEC material, that means information communication material, has been developed by IMD and National Disaster Management Authority. Do's and don'ts, FAQs, terms and terminologies are prepared, and videos are also prepared. You can find out in the website of National Disaster Management Authority the videos, what to do, what not to do during, before, and after the cyclones. At the same time, it is not the end of the road. We are also moving towards further improvement with more dynamical GIS-based cyclone hazard vulnerability and risk analysis, utilization of artificial intelligence and machine learning, information from the crowds, that is started crowdsourcing, especially for cyclone also, we are going to develop a mobile app for crowdsourcing, digital forecasting, and dynamic impact-based forecast and risk-based warning. So all these will certainly help further to minimize the loss of lives and properties. We have been very successful so far to minimize the loss of lives. But loss of property, which is also minimized, that is the next goal. And I hope in the years to come, the country will be able to minimize the loss of lives as well as loss of property. So thank you very much.
For this felicitation of our madam. Fakir Mohan বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় ব্যাসবিহার বালেশ্বর। ফকির মোহন বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় ব্যাসবিহার বালেশ্বর ব্যাস গৌরব সম্মান 2021 মাননীয় প্রফেসর তাপস মিশ্র ইংল্যান্ড মহাশয় জাতীয় ও আন্তর্জাতীয় স্তରରେ ଜଣେ ବିଦ୍ୱାନ ଅର୍ଥନୀତିଜ୍ଞ ଭାବରେ ଆପଣ ଯେପରି ବିଦ୍ୟାମଣ୍ଡଳୀଙ୍କ ସୁଦୃଷ୍ଟି ଆକର୍ଷଣ କରିପାରିଛନ୍ତି ତାହା ଆମ ପବିତ୍ର ଓଡ଼ିଶା ମାଟି ପାଇଁ ଗୌରବର ବିଷୟ। ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଉଚ୍ଚ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଗ୍ରହଣର ଅଭିଯାତ୍ରା ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୋଇଥିବା ଜଳେଶ୍ୱର ସ୍ଥିତ ଦୀନକୃଷ୍ଣ ମହାବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟର ଅର୍ଥନୀତି ସମ୍ମାନ ଛାତ୍ର ଭାବେ ଉତ୍କଳ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରୁ କୃତିତ୍ୱର ସହିତ ସ୍ନାତକୋତ୍ତର ଅର୍ଥନୀତି ଶ୍ରେଣୀରୁ ଉତ୍ତୀର୍ଣ୍ଣ ହୋଇ ଆପଣ ଦିଲ୍ଲୀ ସ୍ଥିତ ସ୍କୁଲ ଅଫ୍ ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ସରୁ ଅର୍ଥନୀତିରେ ଏମ୍ଫିଲ୍ ଡିଗ୍ରୀ ଲାଭ କରିପାରିଥିଲେ। ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ସମୟରେ ବେଲଜିୟମ ଦେଶ ସ୍ଥିତ କ୍ୟାଥୋଲିକ୍ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରୁ ଆପଣ ପିଏଚ୍ଡି ଡିଗ୍ରୀ ଲାଭ କରିବା ଥିଲା ଏକ ବିରଳ ଘଟଣା। ଡକ୍ଟରେଟ୍ ଡିଗ୍ରୀ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ଅଧ୍ୟୟନ ସକାଶେ ଫ୍ରାନ୍ସରେ ଆପଣ ମନୋନୀତ ହୋଇଥିଲେ। ଏହାପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଅଧ୍ୟାପନ ଜୀବନର ଶୁଭାରମ୍ଭ ଘଟିଥିଲା। ସ୍ୱାନ୍ସି ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରେ ଓ ସାଉଥହ୍ୟାମ୍ପଟନ୍ ବ୍ୟବସାୟିକ ଶିକ୍ଷା ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠାନରେ ଆପଣ ପ୍ରଫେସର ଭାବରେ ଅତ୍ୟନ୍ତ ନିଷ୍ଠାର ସହିତ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଚର୍ଚ୍ଚା କରିଆସିଛନ୍ତି। ଇଂଲଣ୍ଡରେ ଅବସ୍ଥାନ କାଳ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଜାତୀୟ ଓ ଆନ୍ତର୍ଜାତୀୟ ଖ୍ୟାତି ସମ୍ପନ୍ନ ଅନୁଷ୍ଠାନ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆପଣ ପୁରସ୍କୃତ ଓ ସମ୍ମାନିତ। ମେରି କ୍ୟୁରି ଗବେଷଣା ପ୍ରକଳ୍ପ ପୁରସ୍କାର ଆପଣ ଲାଭ କରିଥିବା ଅତ୍ୟନ୍ତ ମହତ୍ୱପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ। ଜଣେ ବିଶିଷ୍ଟ ଗବେଷକ ଭାବରେ ଟୁନିସିଆ ପୁରସ୍କାର ଲାଭ, ବିଶିଷ୍ଟ ଶିକ୍ଷାବିତ୍ ଭାବରେ ସ୍ୱାନ୍ସି ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟର ପୁରସ୍କାର ପ୍ରାପ୍ତି, ସାଉଥହ୍ୟାମ୍ପଟନ୍ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟ ଛାତ୍ର ସଂସଦ ତରଫରୁ ଘନିଷ୍ଠତମ ଶିକ୍ଷକ ଭାବରେ ହାର୍ଦ୍ଦିକ ସମ୍ମାନ ଗ୍ରହଣ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିତ୍ୱର ପରାକାଷ୍ଠା। ମକାଓ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟରେ ପରିଦର୍ଶକ ଗବେଷକ, ଡବ୍ଲିନ୍ ସ୍ଥିତ ଟ୍ରିନିଟି କଲେଜରେ ପରିଦର୍ଶକ ପ୍ରଫେସର ଭାବରେ ଅଗଣିତ ଛାତ୍ରଛାତ୍ରୀଙ୍କୁ ଅର୍ଥନୀତି ବିଶାରଦ କରି ଗଢ଼ି ତୋଳିବା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଜୀବନର ଶ୍ରେଷ୍ଠ ବୈଶିଷ୍ଟ୍ୟ। ତୃଣମୂଳ ସ୍ତରରୁ ସାଧନା ବଳରେ ଆପଣ ସଫଳତାର ଯେଉଁ ଶୀର୍ଷ ସୋପାନରେ ଉପନୀତ ହୋଇଛନ୍ତି ତାହା ଏକ ମହାନ ଆଦର୍ଶର ଉଦାହରଣ। ଆପଣଙ୍କ କଠିନ ପରିଶ୍ରମ, ଅଙ୍ଗୀକାରବଦ୍ଧତା, ସକାରାତ୍ମକ ସ୍ପନ୍ଦନଯୁକ୍ତ ସୁଦୃଢ଼ ଇଚ୍ଛାଶକ୍ତି ବଳରେ ଏହା ସମ୍ଭବ ହୋଇପାରିଛି ଏକଥା କହିବା ବାହୁଲ୍ୟ ମାତ୍ର। ଫକୀର ମୋହନ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟର ତ୍ରୟୋବିଂଶତମ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା ଦିବସ ଉତ୍ସବରେ ବାଲେଶ୍ୱର ମାଟିର ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପରି କୃତି ସନ୍ତାନକୁ ବ୍ୟାସଗୌରବ 2021 ସମ୍ମାନ ଅର୍ପଣ କରି ଆମେ ଗୌରବାନ୍ୱିତ। ସୁସ୍ଥ, ସୁଦୀର୍ଘ ଓ ନିରାମୟ ଜୀବନର ଅଧିକାରୀ ହୋଇ ଆପଣ ପ୍ରେରଣାର ଏକ ଜ୍ଞାନଶିଖା ଭାବରେ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଜଗତକୁ ଆଲୋକିତ କରୁଥାନ୍ତୁ। ଏହା ହିଁ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଜାତିର ଦେବତା ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କ ଠାରେ ଆମର ଆନ୍ତରିକ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା। କିଶୋର କୁମାର ବସା, କୁଳପତି, ଫକୀର ମୋହନ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟ।
ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ସ୍ମୃତି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ। ସାର୍ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବରେ ଆମର ହଜାର ହଜାର ବିଦ୍ୟାର୍ଥୀ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ଅନେକ ଭାବରେ ପ୍ରେରଣା କରିବେ। ଆଜିର ଏହି ପୁଣ୍ୟ ତିଥିରେ ମୁଁ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିବି ଆମର ରାକେଶ ମିଶ୍ର ସାରଙ୍କୁ ଦିଗତ କହିବା ପାଇଁ। I request you sir to speak about your response for accepting our prestigious award. Thank you sir.
Thank you so very much. Am I allowed to speak? Do you hear me? প্রথমে ମୁଁ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ମୋର ସାଦର ପ୍ରଣାମ ଜଣାଉଛି, ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ଅଭିନନ୍ଦନ ଜଣାଉଛି। ବହୁତ ସମୟରେ ଜୀବନରେ ଏମିତି ହୁଏ ଯେ you feel like crying, ବଟ୍ ମୋର ଏଜକୁ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ, ଏଇ ସମୟରେ କାନ୍ଦିବାଟା ବି ଠିକ ନୁହଁ। ଆପଣମାନେ ଏତେ ବଡ଼ ସମ୍ମାନ ମତେ ଦାନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। It's really really proud moment for me. So let me begin by expressing my very deep gratitude to you all. Professor Prakash Solanki, the chief guest, Dr. Mrityunjay Kishore Kumar Basha, the vice chancellor, my honorable former vice chancellors who are here, and one who is not here, Professor Kumar Das, who used to be the former vice chancellor of Fakir Mohan University before. He taught me. Let me begin by saying that this is really a huge honor. All the nice things you spoke about me, I think I forgot all these achievements I had done over a long time period. It's so nice to hear all these nice things. But let me, since I have been given only 3 minutes, so I will not make it a point to elaborate a lot of research-related stuff, but to tell a couple of things which I think is very important. When I saw the logo of the university, I read something. It said, Fakir Mohan University believes in excellence. Yes, we should believe in excellence. There is a saying, people say that, Banat Banjai. So the more you believe, train your mind, at there will be time, you will drive excellence. So basically, you believe that you are excellent, train your mind, and transform that belief into the drive excellence. But for this, everybody has to take the very first step towards the uncertainty. Dr. Mahapatra was very intelligently mentioning about the cone of uncertainty. Professor Prakash Salangi was mentioning a number. He is being a political scientist himself. So political uncertainty, forecast uncertainty, economic uncertainty. We are all treading into the unknown. But to be successful in life, it's extremely important. We take the very first step, fearing nothing. There is nothing to lose. The very first step. Just think about a deer in the jungle, in the forest. Every time, every step she takes, being afraid, being alert, the next step may be a tiger will come and just kill her. So that type of fear of being in the zone of unknown will make you alert, adaptive, resilient, and innovative. This is what we should do in life, that the first thing we must know that there is nothing called an absolute certainty. Only we can take some strategic decisions, like Siddhant might be playing chess, maybe 50, 60, 100 steps ahead, he can think about taking the next move. Dr. Mahapatra might be thinking about nowcasting, forecasting. This is precisely what I do also in my own profession as well. I am a time series econometrician. I do a lot of stuff like that. Dr. Mahapatra will talk about that. Maybe I will connect to you at some point of time. But yes, this is what we all trade into the boundary of the unknown. So all education institutions, not only in Balasore, or internationally, we are already into the zone of uncertainty and unknown. And this is where we have to take the very first step of excellence, of innovation. How to minimize that uncertainty? It is through our sheer hard work and dedication and innovation. This is extremely important. One thing before I end this speech is that I had the opportunity to read a number of short stories and novels of Fakir Mohan Senapati. One thing I learned during my college days at Dinakrishna College, that Fakir Mohan Senapati used to write in the most simple words, the complex human thoughts, the emotions. So everything complex you see around could be or can be expressed in simple thought. I am just moving my limbs. It's so simple, but there is a complex physical, medical process right. So that is why, through my education delivery, this is what always I try to do. There are complex mathematical problems, economic problems, a lot of complexity involved. But how to design the most simple technology to impact students' learning? That is extremely important. So through this educational channel, I think you can bring that innovation, that impact to the society. And I also think that you are doing very right. that you are a localized university, you are using local resources, local talent, and you are transforming those talents for the future brightness. So this is, I am extremely grateful. And before I end this one, I need to also thank 3 women in my life, my mother, my incomparable mother, who brought me to this world, and my wife, who transformed me from nothing to something today, and my daughter, who has allowed me to dream. Also, I need to thank my mentors and teachers, my family members, and one of them is sitting in this podium, Professor Kishore Chandra Basha. Most of you would not know that he helped me build from a very young student way back in 1993 in Barnaby here at Korea University. Despite not following his subject, I was in the economics department, he was in anthropology. I don't know what he saw in me, but since then, just like a mother holds her child's hand, showing the very first step, and he did the same thing. And I'm immensely grateful to you, sir, for showing me the light of the day. And so I accept this honor with really lot of gratitude. And I could never imagine that this would come in my way. I'm really humbled coming from my own people, from my own profession. It's such a huge honor.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words of gratitude and thankfulness to the soil from where you have originated. So now, from the field of academics, taking a wave out to the field of sports, I would now like to declare the next Vyasa Gaurav Award to Sri Siddhant Mohapatra, and he is an eminent personality in the field of chess. I would like to request Dr. Pankaj Pari, Associate Professor, Postgraduate Department of Chemistry, to read out the citation of Sri Siddhant Mohapatra, who is to be felicitated with Fakir Mohan University Award, Vyasa Gaurav. Sir.
फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय व्यासविहार बालेश्वर व्यास गौरव सम्मान 2021 माननीय श्रीजुक्त सिद्धांत महापात्र भद्रक महाशय कैशोर काल राज्यस्तरीय चेस खेल में चमत्कारिता प्रदर्शन करी आपण जो जेपरि निजस्व प्रखर बुद्धिमतार परिचय दे आछंती कहा काकुवा विस्मित करी नाही सेहीपरि जातीय और आंतरिक ओडिशार प्रतिनिधित्व करी आपण जो महान स्वीकृति अर्जन करि पाछंती ताहा मध्य ओडिशावासी को आनंदाभिभूत करिछि सफलतार पाहाच पर पाहाच अतिक्रम करी देश खेल में अंतर्जातीय क्षेत्र में चैंपियन होइतिबा कि आश्चर्यजनक अनुभूति प्रकृत रे विश्व चेस फेडरेशन द्वारा आपण इंटरनेशनल मास्टर उपाधि लाभ करितिबा विषय समग्र ओडिशा को महिमान्वित आसन रे प्रतिष्ठित करि पारिछि भद्रक जिला अभ्यंतरीण ग्रामांचल रे आपण जन्म होई जो अंतर्जातीय सुख्याति लाभ करछंती ताहा प्रत्येक तरुण शक्ति प्रेरणार उत्स 2004 रु आरंभ करी 2017 पर्यंत आपण जातीय स्तर रे खेल अंशग्रहण करी असामान्य सफलता लाभ करछंती 2019 रे कलकत्ता ठारे 2020 रे अहमदाबाद ठारे अनुष्ठित जातीय चेस खेल रे ओडिशार प्रतिनिधित्व करी आपण आम जन्मभूमि रो गौरव वृद्धि करि पाछंती सेही परि पृथ्वीर विभिन्न देश तथा स्वीडन स्पेन दुबई बांग्लादेश इटाली बुल्गारिया ग्रीस श्रीलंका ईरान वियतनाम प्रभृति अनेक स्थान को आपण विजय यात्रा अत्यंत उल्लेखनीय भारतीय विश्वविद्यालय समूह रु प्रतिनिधित्व करी पृथ्वीर विश्वविद्यालय स्तर चेस चैंपियनशिप रे अंशग्रहण करिया पई ब्राजिल थारे 2018 सेप्टेम्बर 12 रु 18 पर्यंत ଅବସ୍ଥାନ କରି ଆପଣ ଅସାଧାରଣ ପ୍ରତିଭାର ପରିଚୟ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। 2008ରେ ନାଗପୁରରେ ବ୍ରୋଞ୍ଜ ମେଡାଲ ଆପଣ ଲାଭ କରିଥିବା ଏକାନ୍ତ ସ୍ମରଣୀୟ। ଅବିଭକ୍ତ ବାଲେଶ୍ୱର ଜିଲ୍ଲାର ଜଣେ ଶ୍ରେଷ୍ଠ ଯୁବପତି ଭାବରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ବିଚକ୍ଷଣତା ଏ ମାଟିର ଗୌରବଦୀପ୍ତ ପରିଚିତି। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଜୀବନର ସୁଦୀର୍ଘ ପଥ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରଲମ୍ବିତ। ଅପୂର୍ବ କଳାକୌଶଳ ପ୍ରଦର୍ଶନ କରି ବିଶ୍ୱବାସୀଙ୍କୁ ବିମୁଗ୍ଧ କରିଥିବା ସେ ତାରୁଣ୍ୟ ଅଗ୍ନିଶିଖା ଅର୍ଥାତ୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଫକୀରମୋହନ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟର 53ତମ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା ଦିବସରେ ସମ୍ବର୍ଦ୍ଧନା ଜ୍ଞାପନ କରିବାର ଦୁର୍ଲଭ ସୁଯୋଗ ଲାଭ କରି ଆମେ ଗୌରବାନ୍ୱିତ। ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସୁସ୍ଥ ଓ ସାର୍ଥକ ଜୀବନ ନିମିତ୍ତ ପ୍ରଭୁ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଓ ମା ଭଦ୍ରକାଳୀଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ଆମର ବିନମ୍ର ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଜଣାଉଛୁ। ଈଶ୍ୱର କୁମାର ବସା, କୁଳପତି, ଫକୀରମୋହନ ବିଶ୍ୱବିଦ୍ୟାଳୟ।
ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ପାଣିକ ସାର୍। ଏବେ ମୁଁ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିବି ଶ୍ରୀଯୁକ୍ତ ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତ ମହାପାତ୍ରଙ୍କୁ ଆମମାନଙ୍କୁ ଉଦ୍ବୋଧନ କରିବା।
नमस्कार ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ। Respected, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Respected Basa sir, Vice Chancellor, FM Unit Chief Guest Sarangi sir, former VC Ravenshaw University, respected guest of honor Sri Mahapatra sir, Director General of Meteorology IMD, respected Register Madam, respected dignitaries and allied viewers. To begin with, I must express my gratitude to the management of our university to allow me to share my experience before this elite platform. I am really honored to get this award from our university. It was not an easy journey for me, being a kid from a remote rural area from our state to represent our country globally in chess. As it is very normal for majority of the students, I also had a very much financial problem being from a lower middle class family. It was not an easy path to play chess because chess is one of the most costliest game in the whole world. Chess is something that is played in all of the countries in the world, but many people cannot complete their career financial problems. But luckily for me, I was able to play and got the international master title from FIDE, which is the second highest title in the chess world. Also, I must say that from Odisha, there are only 6 international masters, including me. And it was really an honor for me. And it was like a dream come true when I got the international master title from the World Chess Federation. I have been playing chess from 2004, and I have won around 8 international medals for our country and represented India in among 15 countries. But I think the best moment for me was when I was able to represent my university, FM University, in Brazil. That was in 2018. And give thanks to our university for also helping me financially to able to play that event. As I have already said, coming from a lower middle class family, it was not an easy, but our university have helped me financially so that I could go and play that event. So thank you so much. I have won a gold medal in Commonwealth. I have won bronze medal in Asian and World Chess Championship. But I think participating and representing the university in Brazil was, I think, one of the best thing that I have done in all my career. To conclude, I say that when we start a journey, the beginning is the most difficult part and the critical part. But once we have the determination and dedication, the destination will not be far away. So thank you, all of you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Siddhant sir. The entire conference hall is delighted to have today Tapas Mr. sir and Siddhanta Mahapatra sir. And our Vice Chancellor is very much delighted. All of us are feeling so very much proud to have both of you being joined today in this 23rd Foundation Day of the University. So now we'll move ahead, and this is the next part for felicitation of the NSS wing of Fakir Mohan University. So I would like to request Coordinator Professor Amulya Acharya sir to come and take over the charge of NSS Hour felicitations. Over to you, sir.
Very good afternoon. So it's my immense pleasure and honor to announce the best volunteers and the names of best program officers under Fakir Mohan University for their outstanding contribution in the field of social work and community service building. So I am pleased to announce the name of best program officer as male program officer, Mr. Prabhat Kumar Parida, Dr. Jadunath College, program officer of Dr. Jadunath College, Rasalpur, Balasore. And I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Vasa sir to felicitate and award on behalf of 23rd Foundation Day of Fakir Mohan University. So thank you sir for your contribution, and you start service for the render service for the community and society for the greater interest of the society. Thank you sir. We are proud of you. The Fakir Mohan University is proud of you for your contribution. Next, I am welcoming Mousumi Bhaul, the best program officer, Nilagiri Women's Degree College, Nilagiri, for her outstanding contribution in the field of nation building and community service and social service. So, Honorable Register Madam will felicitate the best program officer on behalf of her Foundation Day.
Delivering a very interesting talk as chief guest, where he highlighted three aspects. He emphasized on achievement, audaciousness, and adventurism. Sir, we have taken note of your sagacious suggestions. Dr. Mutunjoy Mahapatra, এই মাটির সন্তান এবং আজি এক উত্তুঙ্গ পদবীরে অଛନ୍ତି সে আমাকে যে প্রাঞ্জল ভাবে বুঝাইলে সাইক্লোন কেমিতি ফোরকাস্ট করা যায় এবং মতে ସବୁଠୁ ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା ଯେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ କହିଲେ କଷ୍ଟମାଇଜ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ଗୋଟେ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି ଆଉ ସୋସାଇଟି ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ସମନ୍ୱୟ ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଜୀବନ୍ତ ଉଦାହରଣ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ଡକ୍ଟର ମୃତ୍ୟୁଞ୍ଜୟ ମହାପାତ୍ର. We are also grateful to felicitate Professor Tapas Mishra, University of Southampton, a very internationally known economist, and Mr. Siddhant Mahapatra, of a very internationally known chess player, on behalf of this university. विश्वास करंतु आजी पर्सनली मो पाई गोटे बहुत खुशी दिन कारण ए माटीर तीन जन जो माने एचिवर्स माने डॉक्टर मृत्युंजय महापात्र कहतु कि तापस बाबू तापस मिश्र कहतु कि सिद्धांत महापात्र कथा कहतु एमानकर गोटे जिनस होची कमन से माने पारिवारिक जो अर्थनैतिक जो दुर्गति भितरे विद्रु से माने बाहर के आछंती तेणु आज जो आम स्टूडेंट्स मान दे आर रोल मॉडल्स. सर डॉक्टर महापात्र, प्रोफेसर मिश्र एंड मिस्टर सिद्धांत महापात्र, on behalf of this university I am grateful to you that you three are born in this land and you are the role models for our young students, and I am sure hundreds of students will be inspired by your achievements, how you have transcended, all three of you have transcended the economic impoverishment, and yet I think both Siddhant Babu कहते एवं तापस बाबू भी कहते जे beginning टा होचे बहुत difficult, बिगिनिंगटा हूँ बहुत डिफिकल्ट बहुत केयरफुली से शुणुली बिगिनिंगटा हूँ डिफिकल्ट किंतु से बिगिनिंगटा को जदि आप धरी रखिले एवं तापर आपण जो एस्पिरेशनटा को आपणकर जो अर्थनैतिक जो बैकवर्डनेस कहतु इम्पोवरिशमेंट को ता भितर बाहर करी आपणकर एस्पिरेशन रो जो फ्लाइट ऑफ एस्पिरेशन द फ्लाइट ऑफ इमेजिनेशन and the translating into reality is your imagination. Both three of you are embodiments. So therefore, I'm sure the students of Fakir Mohan University will treat all three of you as their role models, and I'm sure this university will create more than, I think, better than three of you. That is the aspiration of mine as a vice chancellor. 23 वर्षर पदार्पण करथिबा जो फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय आज दिन में विश्वविद्यालय प्रत्येक स्टेक होल्डर सी छात्र हो पारती शिक्षक हो पारती कर्मचारी हो पारती अभिभावक हो पारती पुरातन छात्र छात्री हो पारती साधारण नागरिक हो पारती आम समस्ते ये विश्वविद्यालय उत्तरोत्तर उन्नति कार्य करने ब्रती हेबा शेष में मुझे विश्वविद्यालय 3 मास कुलपति होवार कार्य कर सुजोग पाई निजको धन्य मन करुच्ची स्वल्प समय हेले आपण मानकर विश्वविद्यालय प्रति प्रतिबद्धता एवं मो सहयोग मो जीवन में एक अलिभा स्मृति हो शेष में मुझे आपण मानक विश्वविद्यालय प्रतिष्ठा दिवस शुभेच्छा जनाई मोर वक्तव्य शेष करुच्ची धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, sir. A university functions with its strength of the development section. Today's program is also the output of entire coordination of months together and leadership of our development officer, Dr. Fakir Mohan Naik. So now I would like to request Dr. Fakir Mohan Naik, Assistant Professor, Postgraduate Department of Social Science, and the very prestigious holder of the development section to kindly come and propose a formal vote of thanks. Sir.
फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय त्रयोविंशतम प्रतिष्ठा दिवस अवसर में वर्चुअल मीटिंग रे उपस्थित थिबा समस्त को मोर शुभेच्छा और नमस्कार। यही अवसर में सर्वप्रथम पुण्यात्मा अपनाबिंद रे मोर भक्तिपूत प्रणाम जनाऊँ। आज प्रतिष्ठा दिवस समारोह रे मुख्य अतिथि तथा रेवेन्सा विश्वविद्यालय पूर्वतन कुलपति प्रोफेसर प्रकाश चंद्र षडंगी महोदय, सम्मानित अतिथि डॉक्टर मृत्युंजय महापात्र महोदय तांकर बहुमूल्य समय आम सह अतिबाहित करिथिबारु विश्वविद्यालय तरफरु मु आंतरिक धन्यवाद जनाऊँ। जहां मार्गदर्शन रे एही सभा सफल होई परिछि ताहा आम कुलपति प्रोफेसर किशोर कुमार बासासन को मोर कृतज्ञता और धन्यवाद। विश्वविद्यालय स्नातकोत्तर परिषदर अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर मुनेश चंद्र अधिकारी सर, कुलसचिव श्रीमती कुकुमीना दास, वित्त नियंत्रक अधिकारी श्रीयुक्त मानस कुमार पात्र, आमर परीक्षा नियंत्रक श्रीयुक्त रंजन कुमार राय सर, समस्त को सेमानंतर सहयोग पई धन्यवाद। एवं आमर एई प्रतिष्ठा दिवस उपलक्षे आमर जो व्यास गौरव सम्मान जहां को आमे देइछु ए वर्षर सम्मान तथा प्रोफेसर तापस कुमार मिश्र सर एवं आमर श्रीयुक्त सिद्धांत कुमार महापात्र को मु धन्यवाद जनइबी सेमानकर बहुमूल्य समय दे आमर ए वर्चुअल मीटिंग रे से उपस्थित होइथिबारु एवं तांकर संक्षिप्त अभिभाषण रखिथिबारु मु विश्वविद्यालय तरफरु तांको धन्यवाद जनइबी। शेषर विश्वविद्यालय समस्त शिक्षक एवं अणशिक्षक कर्मचारी, छात्र छात्री एवं अभिभावक को मोर धन्यवाद जनइबी एवं एही वर्चुअल मीटिंग रे उपस्थित थिबा बुद्धिजीवी तथा पूर्वतन कुलपति माननकु और मीडिया प्रतिनिधि माननकु मध्य सेमानकर सहयोग पाई धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करी सभा सांग करने पर अनुमति मांगी वंदे उत्कल जननी। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। तो आम आज सभार परिशेष पहुंची जाइछु। शेष में अनुरोध करी समस्त को निज जगार दंडायमान हाँपाई कारण आम गहन अत्यंत एक विशिष्ट संगीतकार आमर रजिस्टर मैडम कुकुमिना मैडम and this song has been vocalized and sung by her own self with the help of the musicians. So I request everyone to stand and we'll conclude this meeting with Bande Utkal Janani. I would request the technical support team to kindly play the song with the homage to our state and this respectable esteemed university, Fakir Mohan University.